Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. This is episode 65 and my name is Anne. I live in Worcestershire with my husband and our dog Bertie, and today is Monday the 12th of September. Welcome back. What have you been up to in the last couple of weeks? Do tell. We've had some pretty sticky weather. Otherwise you might have seen me sooner. But since we're No Excuses, we won't talk about that until later. I've got a few notes today. I don't think it'll be a terribly long one because I haven't been up to too much. I don't seem to have made a lot of progress on my knitting. Shall we blame the weather again? Yeah, why not? There are two make-alongs in the podcast at the moment. The first is the Smash the Stash Mal, and that is where you are using fabric, yarn, fibre that you've had more than 6 months, and it takes up more than 50% of your project. I've got lots of entries for that. And also the flat mal. I'll put all the details of how to enter down below, but you can enter on Instagram, Ravelry or by email. The flat mal is where you need to get a needle to sew things up. So it could be a cardigan made in pieces, like the one I'm going to show you in a minute, or that I've actually completed. Yes, don't get excited. At last. Or anything really, as long as it's more than a few inches of stitching. I don't mind what it is. It can be a blanket if you want it to be. Although that's quite a few stitches, more than I've done on that cardigan. I will briefly mention that I've now cut out the majority of the fabric for the charity bags, and they are so that there's a bit of a pile next to me here. I've completed 2 bags because they were cut out already. I need to sort the wadding out next, and then I can join them all up, and hopefully then have a dive into my big bag of stash behind me, de-stash, and I will be pairing up what I think people might like, or if they say they want a surprise, beware. I'll be getting in touch with you. I think if you've got any preference of colour, let me know. You know my colour palette. It's not jewel bright things usually. But, yeah. So they should be on their way to the lovely, lovely purchasers by the end of this month. Definitely. Yeah. Whether I'll get them all done, I'm not sure, but I should do. And if you haven't said you'd like a bag and you would, then please contact me. I'm going to let you know the details. Because I've talked about it so often on previous podcasts, I won't go through it again, but if you're interested, you get a bag and a skein of yarn this time, not the minis. And again, a contribution to the Stroke Association will be part of the cost that you pay to me for the bag and the wool. Okay, let's get straight into it, shall we? As you know, I tried to knit myself a little summer cardigan. Not in a summer fabric, but I wanted something small, cropped, fairly fitted to wear in the, like if I went out in the evening. Not that I ever go out in the evening, but I do it occasionally. I'm seen out the house after 6 o'clock. And I just fancied a little cardigan. It was like in summery colours, spring colours. Now you've seen this wool many, many times. This is the Stardust colourway by Bobble and Badger. It is BFL DK. And this, my friends, because you are my friends, is my finished cardigan. And I'm only going to show you this side because I can't hold it up, but I've got some photographs to put it in. And it's a V-neck cardi, an old Wendy pattern that I chose because I gave up on that painting book because the raglan was getting silly and I was using far too much yarn. So it was driving me mad. And what I've done here is I've put a border on, a pattern section either side of the button band on the front, and the rest is just plain stocking stitch. But don't you just love these buttons? I am the world's worst podcaster. Now these are shell buttons, so they're sort of very dark on the back, crinkly, and you can see they're natural, and they pick up the lime colour that's in the, well, I hope they do, that's in the wool. The pattern is moss stitch there, then there's a cable, and then there is a moss stitch front band, and then I did a couple of rows of knit and I cast off. So it very gently, and I'll show you this on the buttonhole band, on the button band, it just very gently, stick my fingers through there so that helps. It very gently rolls forward, and I quite like that because it's one of those, I've wanted it to be one of those where it barely does up, so it, you know, there might be, it might go a bit like that between the buttons to say it's slightly stretched when it's done up, and I wanted it to be like that with sort of a negative ease. So yeah, I'm pleased with this. I haven't really got a lot more to say except that it is sewn up, it's done in pieces, and usually I use mattress stitch to sew up my jumpers and cardigans, but this time I used whip stitch. Now the whip stitch ends up being much flatter on the inside than mattress stitch is. It's not really raised off the surface of the knitting, but unlike mattress stitch, you can see it on the other side. Now what I've done here, because it's more or less a deliberate visible seam, I've, on every purl row, I've knitted the first and the last stitch, so you get a little bump effect there, you know, so it's either going to be visible or invisible, and I'm not sure if I want anything that's like in between, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm quite happy. It didn't take me very long to stitch up because it's not long and it's slightly smaller than the other things that I've made recently. That's the that's the arm seam, and it's all, I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with what's happened. I'm pleased with how it's turned out, and I will put a couple of photographs in to show you what it looks like with me wearing it. I haven't looked at the photograph actually that Tom took on me. Perhaps I should have done that before I said. This weighs 495 grams. I ordered 5 skeins, 5 100 skeins from Bobble and Badger. So they were probably all very, very slightly over 100 grams. I've only got a little bit left, so I've actually got it right this time to use almost everything. I'm not going to, you know, bother about the weight of the buttons is negligible. So I shall work out and put on Ravelry how many metres I've knitted in this cardigan. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the cardigan. I like the lines on it. I like the pattern on it. Hallelujah, because it's taken me months. You might see that on the front band I did stocking stitch first. There's where I picked up. Did stocking stitch first and then moss stitch. So I've got quite a deep front band. It's about 1.5 inches deep, 1 3/4. Yeah, but I'm very pleased with this. So that is my finished item of almost the summer, really, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I did Mum's scarf, that was a quick knit, and I've done a couple of hats, but the cardigan is the thing that I kept stopping, because I just wasn't happy with the size or the pattern I was knitting. Mum, yeah, I will be making another green cardigan, you know what that is, in the not too distant future. We'll talk about that in a sec, because now I'll pop quickly onto progress. I'm not in a hurry, I'm just talking a bit quickly. This is and special green. I don't think they're going to sell it with that name. This is a lovely green merino mohair mix that I can't find the label, so I don't know if it's got any nylon in it, that Angela and Andy of Attic Spin Dye kindly did for me. They sent it me and said, would you like to try our new base? And it is very reminiscent of the green that we're going to talk about in a minute, isn't it? It's brighter, and it's got it's slightly more blue, but isn't it gorgeous? And if you've followed me on Instagram, you may have seen, I think I've posted this. This is called the Copilot Cowl. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and basically it's a very simple garter stitch and eyelet lace, very basic yarn over knit two together lace. It's a long cowl, so I'm not sure whether it's long enough to wrap round twice, but it's the sort of thing I'm going to find very useful on a cold day, because I've realised that cowls stay put more than scarves and shawls, and like it's been happening to me in the past, I won't be dipping any of my shawls or scarves. I won't be dipping any cowls into the toilet like I've done with scarves on a couple of occasions when I've been out and about. The pattern says cast on with a bigger needle, and which I did quite a few stitches, let's just say, because you're knitting it. You're not going from the narrowest point going round, you're knitting it as a big loop. And it was all very, I decided to, in my wisdom, to do an I-cord cast on. And because I did it on the larger needle, when I came to change to the smaller needle, which was like 2 sizes down, there was a great big holes or loops between the I-cord cast on and the start of the garter stitch rows. And I didn't like that, so I had to undo it all again, because you'd expect me to say that, because that's what I do. But the second time I did it, I just used the needles that I'm going to knit the main body in, did an I-cord, did the rows that I need for the first panel of garter, weighed what I had left, so I knew what I needed to finish it off at the other end, mirrored. I did the first panel of garter, lace, and then garter, and then measured that as well, weighed that as well, so that I know exactly how much I need to do in order not to run out of wool. So I've ended up doing one less pattern repeat on the lace in order to have 3 repeats of this lace panel. In fact, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I've got far more. Maybe it's 6 repeats, I don't know. I got it into my head it was 3 repeats, but I seem to have quite a bit of wool left. Maybe it's a bit less than half, a bit more than half, in which case that would be okay. But yeah, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's got a slight halo because of the mohair. Very, very nice, very easy to knit with, and beautiful, beautiful crisp colours. Very, very nice. So thank you, Andy and Angela, it's very kind of you, and I shall be modelling it in the not too distant future. So that's the Copilot Cowl. That's supposed to be my evening knitting, and I would have got a bit further had I not kept falling asleep, or my hands have been so sticky in the weather last week that I really didn't want to knit in the evenings. Now the other project that I'm working on, I might look a bit washed out today because I've got my ring light closer to me, almost directly behind the camera, and I've got 2 lights on me, so if I look pale and interesting, then I might look a bit too pale and shiny. I'm not, bothered about how I look really. You take me as you find me, as they say. If you just think she looks a bit ill, I'm not. Now, this is my other works in progress, and it is the, let me get the front and the back. There we go. This is my City Limits jumper. I've split for the body now and put the sleeves on hold. And this is the Tanis Fibre Arts pattern. This is my 4th iteration of this pattern, and this is being done in garter stitch, and it already feels quite heavy. I'm not sure whether garter stitch will use up any extra wool, but I do love the feel of it. So as you can see, I don't know if you can tell from, I sit back a bit, we started off with the paler colours, and I realise now I should have carried on with them, but you know, forever impatient, I wanted to get some more colours into this. So we're moving into the more moody mustards, and we're getting towards green now, and I'll show you what I'm using. I had the Spring Fade from Yarnworthy, and that is the, I think that's colour 3 or 4, going from the lightest to the dark. I'll put a picture of the whole thing in, and I've just finished. I can't really show you because I'm literally got I've got a scrap of wool here that I'm about to finish, but I'll just wind that up and show you. It's like it's almost a greeny, a yellowy green. And then next we go from that one to that one, and it's quite a jump actually, but it is the next one in the series, and the one that I'll be using with it is that green. So they'll sit nicely together because there's a little bit of that colour in there. Oh, there in there. You know, I need to check that because that looks very green. It's got some yellow in it, but it looks very green, doesn't it, compared to that. So I'll double check I've got the right one next. I think I have, because they're all in the same bag. I doubt whether I've gone wrong. But I'm finding they're knitting up. I'm doing sort of the next to largest size, so it'll be quite a nice, roomy, easy to put on jumper. But yeah, it's eating wool, like Pac-Man, honestly. I've just seen what looks like a not a hole, but seen there, that looks like it's the wrong stitch. But just stop fiddling with it. Just leave it alone. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. It took me ages to get from the end of the raglan shaping, and I've changed it to just 1 stitch. It's 2 stitches I think on the pattern, down to the split for the armhole, and now I've done about, I don't know, 1 inch. Yeah, it's alright, it's easy. Because I'm doing garter, at least I get to do some purl, and I know not everybody likes doing purl, but I quite like it. So I do a row of knit and row of purl, and that makes it grow quicker for me. That's how awkward I am. So yeah, that's my city limits. And that is the sum total of my knitting and my making at the moment. Having said that, I am heading for my mother's, well, yeah, maybe this weekend or later this week, to get something cut out. It's my fault because Mum watches my podcasts, and you'll see her comment to me. And it doesn't matter what I take with me, I've always forgotten something, haven't I, Mum? So I made the Gilbert shirt by Helen's Closet last year or the year before, and we're going to make another one. So I needed to try it on to see whether it needed the bust starts moving, and I tried it on with quite a unsupporting bra, shall we say, and the bust starts weren't anywhere near where they should be. So anyway, today I've got a better one on, and I've tried it on the shirt, and it fits very, very well. Apart from I look like I might be a bit fatter around the middle. Not the middle, the tummy, the belly. It's just because you sat down and just spreads. Got no control over it at all. So yeah, hopefully we will be making I've got some cotton, and again I'll put a photograph in. Or like it's pale blue. It's a Riley Blake. Got it from John Lewis a few years ago, not many years ago. It's a pale blue, ideal for shirts, but it keeps coming out as grey on the screen. So if you imagine it a nice sort of like a grey, a steel blue type of thing, maybe. It's not as sky blue anyway, and it's got these two other colours in it as well. So I'll put a picture of that on the screen and a picture of the Gilbert shirt, and you will see what hopefully I'm going to be making. And I've also ordered, I bought the collage gather top from Matchy Matchy Patterns, and I'll put a picture of that in as well, and that can be made out of scraps and things, and I'm quite looking forward to that. It's quite blousy, but I think it needs to be made a bit longer for me, strangely, but yeah, I quite like the look of that. It's quite choppy, square. Yeah, so hopefully I might raid fabric stashes and see what we can find or put together, because I've got quite a little bit. Mum gave me some lovely it's a green cotton with a tiny white flower print on it, and I've got some gingham, green gingham, that almost goes with it, and I think that might make a nice matchy top, but you won't know what I'm on about until I show you the photographs of the top that I've got off the website, etc. Oh yeah, now hopefully while I'm talking I'm showing you what I mean, and if I go to Mum's, I won't be able to take pictures of the gingham or the other fabric until next time, but I'll show you. Right, let's see. So incoming next, see, we're zooming through today, and I've only been talking for 22 minutes. I'm going to slurp, it's cold tea. I drink most of my drinks cold. Anita and I said we'd do some journaling. Well, Anita suggested, because I said I'd like to start from the 1st of September and do some journaling. Shh, it's only the 12th, shh, it's early days. And Anita said, yep, let's do it together till Christmas, see if we can keep it up. Now, I haven't started, but I have got together, and it includes some of my incoming, so I thought I'd show you that and then talk about how far I've got with the journaling, or lack of, or you know. So I went on to one of my favourite websites for stationery, and that is Under the Rome Trees. I'll put a link down here, and I bought, it has got, looks like it's got one of those covers that pick up every little greasy handprint, and if I've got, quite often I've put hand cream on, so excuse if you can see them. This is Yop and Tom, and it was on offer, and it's an A5, and for some reason I thought I was buying A6, hence me buying that other one that I showed you the other day, that little one from Smith's that I showed you before. And this is a dot grid, can you see it says dots in the middle, and it is very, very faint, but hopefully it's got a centre dot, and it's got halfway, so you can quarter the page very easily, if that's what you want to do. So yeah, and it's, I think it's 90 GSM, which is thicker than I'm used to, or is it the other one was 90 GSM? I will check, because I wanted something I could use the odd felt pen or metallic pen on, gel pen. And if you buy some of the notable books like my Leuchtturm that I'm using for my podcast notes, if you use a sort of a fairly wet felt pen on, it just goes straight through more or less, and I think for the money that you're paying for the notebook, that's a bit disappointing. So I'm going to be starting this in the next 2 days, I promise you. Because what is that old thing about starting a new book and not wanting to spoil it? So what I've done is no, don't start talking about the notebook. So that's part of my incoming. I also bought some metallic pens because I love the set I got from them, and they were still on offer. These are Edding Gel Roller Metallic, and they are 0.7mm thickness. So and it does say on the end 0.7 gel, and they write really, really nicely. I love them. I like a very smooth, excuse me, pen. That's having the drink a podcast. And I also bought off Amazon, rather than under their own trees, because you know I'm all over the place, a set of Sarasa vintage colours. Now this make is zebra, and these write really, really nicely as well. I've been filling my diary up, my 5-year diary that I'm trying to catch up on, which is a sort of an excuse as to why I haven't started the journaling, because I'm trying to do a month a day at the moment. But when you're trying to write and it's so hot, you're just sticking to everything. It's just been horrible. And the Sarasa I got from Amazon, I bought 2 packs for £10, I think it was. So that's 10 pens and £1 each, and they write really, really nicely. So I think there's mustard, blue, red, purple, and they're all nice. They're called vintage colours, and I'm very, very pleased with them. I don't think I put them in any of my books because that would just be too easy. I remember writing with them, but to say that I wrote something with them, with each of them, and then actually to show you would be organisation at its best, wouldn't it? And then the other thing I bought from under their own trees again is I bought a couple of 2 more Pigma Micron pens, because these are really good in stencils, and I bought this one is 0.2. This is number 2, and I think I bought a number 1 and a number 3, because this is 0.3mm. I produce a 0.3mm line, and these are really, really nice to write with as well, and to draw with. I can't draw, but you know what I mean. So that's what I bought stationery wise, and I keep thinking something's missing because I think I bought one of the things for under the rowan trees. And what I've done is I've made quick lists on here of the things I want to include in my bullet journal. So I want a monthly spread with a diary, and then I want to keep a list of projects and books, and then I want a weekly, break that down into weekly, a to-do, maybe a habit tracker for keeping the diary up to date, drugs tracker, a drug stroke health tracker. I tried to do that before and tried to say good and bad days, and whether it was raining as well, try to marry it up with weather, because I am adversely affected with weather. So I will try and combine them. I'll have a look at what I did last time, and then long term I want to have a list of books that I've read, so an overall list of what I've read this year, which isn't very much at the moment. Home cleaning, we've got some big jobs to do, and I want to try and keep track on that, and I want to put weekly in for habit tracking for cleaning as well, and clearing out stuff. I want to do some decluttering, and the de-stash is part of that. I also need to get everything to do with one craft together, because it's getting quite dark outside, so I'm hoping that the contrast doesn't vary too much because the sun's gone in, although the sun's at the front of the house at the moment and not at the back. With a big cloud coming out, probably rain in a minute. I want to put everything to cross stitch together, everything quilting together, everything to do with needle felting together, so I can pick them up and have a go at them, because one of the things that sort of I'm using an excuse to not do anything different apart from knitting or crochet and maybe a bit of sewing is I can't get to everything, and I don't know where everything is. I know roughly what I own, but my friend says she'll come and help me when she gets back off her Greek holiday. She'll come back and help me put everything together, so I know where it, even if I can't reach it, I'll know which area of the wardrobe it's in. So there's that as well. And then I've got things to sort. I've got my hanging area to sort for my clothes. I've only got that 2-door wardrobe. I haven't got a lot of hanging space. I've got lots of t-shirts that I need to go through, because if there are any that I'm not wearing for whatever reason and they're a good quality, then they can go to charity, and if they're not, then they can go for rags. I need to sort out my necklaces, because I don't wear them anymore, because I've got crossbody bags, so I don't tend to wear necklaces, not big chunky ones, because they get caught. I've got handbags to put on eBay or Vinted. I think eBay, because I've already got an account there. I've got my books on the shelves that I might never read again that I need to go through, and I've got quite a few DVDs, about 8 foot of them, to watch and then donate to charity before the charity stop taking DVDs. And we've got things to do in the garden, you know. And if I don't write these things down, then I can't really. It's nice to be able to write things down so you can cross them off. But also, I do genuinely forget what I'm supposed to be doing. One of the big things I need to do at the moment is phone the doctors. Tom's been offered his flu jab. I haven't phoned the doctors, and that was weeks ago. You know, get with it, girl. I need a slap. Metaphorically, not really. So I've got lots of plans to put into my journal. All I need to do now is start the journal. And what I think I might... Oh, here we go. Those are the colours of my vintage Sarasa, Zebra Sarasa colours. Excuse what I've written down. This is the red colour. My name is Anna Louise. Is it black? Yeah, so I quite liked doing that. It gives me a sample of each of the colours, and they're quite nice to have, because they don't leak through the paper either when I'm journaling, so I can change the colour of what I'm writing and not ruin the paper. So yeah, I want to get started on that. I'm going to watch a couple of bullet journals this week, and then I'm just going to start. You know, I've done it before, I just need to stick to it. So Anita, I am getting there, and I will catch up, I promise, this week. I'm always saying that. Am I girl of my word? It's not because I can't be bothered. I really do want to do it. I just need to bite the bullet and get on with it and stop making excuses. And the big thing is, a really, 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 really scary thing is, I have bought no wool, no yarn this month. I don't know whether that is a first. What's wrong with me? I have plans. I need to order the chunky yarn for my mother-in-law's Christmas cardigan. I've been waiting to go to String in Cheltenham, the new wool shop down there, but I'm waiting for her to get a ramp, and she said it's on its way, but you know, I know she's got some chunky Wendy wool acrylic, and I'm quite happy to buy off her if I can get in the shop. So, and what was the other thing? I'm waiting for my midwinter yarn Kickstarter, the black and blue yarn, and I'll show you that as well, wool. I'll show you that when it arrives. I think Estelle said some of it's gone out, but don't worry if you've not received yours yet. It's got to come from Shetland, let's face it. Yeah, and I have I haven't been back into our little town centre to do any recording, so but I'll try and do that before the weather gets bad, so I can still go around in the chair and get in and out before it gets too cold for the batteries. Well, let's move on to activity, shall we? Now, I think on August bank holiday I went to see my mother. Did I, Mum? I know I've been to see her in the last couple of weeks, and it was, yeah, we had a look at things, had a look at patterns, material. She washed that material that I was told you I'm going to make the shirt out of. That was nice, and I think I've seen her again since. I need to put it in my diary, because when you're retired, one day is very much like another day, and you do lose track of time of where you are. Then, I mean, when you consider that bank holiday was 2 weeks today, so I've only got that much to remember. On the Wednesday of that week, yeah, that's right, I did go and see her because I was at home on the Tuesday. I went out again on the Wednesday. I went out with Denise, who I used to work with, and Liz, I was at school with, and we went to Ask in Worcester for a meal. Basically, I parked in St Martin's Gate multi-storey because it was a hot day and I wanted to be undercover. Denise came and found me because she was parked a couple of floors above me. It was very busy that day in that car park. She came and found me, and that was fine. We went into town. Liz had walked up towards the cathedral away from where we said we'd meet, which is fine. She went up to see if there was anything that she wanted in Wilkinson's, because unfortunately Wilkinson's are closing down. And Denise said to me, I'm going to go into Boots. I said, well, I'll just message Liz and see where she is, because I said we'd meet outside Boots, and Denise said, I'm just going to pop in there. So she goes into Boots, and Liz says, I'm at Wilco. I said, well, you stay there, and we'll come up to you in a few minutes. So I went into Boots to see where Denise was, and I found her by the deodorants. I said, come here. What? She said, look at this. She picked this deodorant up from behind the display, and it was everywhere, like you got your finger on it, you know. But it was a very, very steady stream of liquid, not the spray. So, oh my God, I said, that's terrible. She went, I know. She said, I need to find somebody. So I tucked it on there. So anyway, there was a lady just behind us, really, stacking shelves. So she went up to this lady and said, there seems to be something wrong with this deodorant. And the lady came and like, oh yeah, because they'd have to clean all the shelves off, you know, because I mean deodorant, it can be very smelly when it's all let out the bottle all at once, yeah, the can. It's still going everywhere. Anyway, what I didn't know is that Denise had done that. Don't tell Boots in Worcester. She'd looked at this deodorant, which was a Sure one, and they don't all have lids anymore. They have like a thing that you push. And she'd taken what she thought was the lid off. I don't know why. Smell it? I don't know why. And she'd shoved it back on again without thinking and set it off because she hadn't got it on properly. So she'd obviously put it under pressure and it was streaming out everywhere. So she'd caused this. And we ran. Well, she went and paid for the one that she was buying. I can't take her anywhere. Honestly, she's a walking disaster some days. I went, this is great. This is, you know, this is the start of our day. And it did get slightly better. So we went up to Ask, met Liz coming down, so we were, let's go and eat, let's go and, you know. And I had a voucher from there to use up before the end of the year, and I thought, I'll forget if I don't go today. And we sat there and we had a main course and a pudding, and I had I can't remember what it was. It was a pizza with a bit of meat on it, I think. And it was oblong. Now she'd given us, I'd had a gin spritz. I don't usually drink gin, but it had raspberries in it, and it was quite nice. Got a big glass of water, tap water, with ice cubes in it. And I sort of thought I'd take photographs, or we'd chat in, put my phone down after we'd been served. I moved my hand, and I literally knocked my iced water with the ice cubes the length of my pizza, and I hadn't even touched my pizza. Excuse me. I've ruined my pizza, and you know they're as good as gold. I mean, go make another one, but you'll have to wait because you know it takes a few minutes and other people are being served. Yeah, fine. It was quite busy, but the kids were still off school at that point. There's some holidays. So yeah, and I ate most of the pizza actually, because last time I went there I had the calzone, the folded one, and I couldn't eat more than half of that. But I hadn't eaten anything that morning, and that made a difference, so I was a bit hungry by the time we got there. So yeah, that went well. We had a pudding. I had the chocolate brownie, I think, with the clotted cream, ice cream, and the chocolate sauce, and that was nice. It wasn't the best I've had, but it was quite nice. Liz had the blood orange chocolate tart, which was heavier. So it was tangy, and I think Denise and I shared one of those, the Christmas. So we had a nice time, and we walked out of there. We went out of there into Marks and Spencer's food, and they lost me again. They thought they'd lost me because they didn't understand that I went up and they went down. They were walking down the stairs to the food from ground level, and I went up in a little, one of these little disabled lifts or for push chairs, went in the place of stairs, because the last time me and Liz tried to get in the little baby lift they got to the one side, it moaned at us and Liz had to get out because we were too heavy. But we got both, I think it was Christmas last year, and this is my excuse, and we both had really big heavy bags of shopping, but it made us get out. Well, I couldn't get up the stairs, so I said to Liz, you'll have to get out and you'll have to go up the stairs. They've got one big lift, it's two shops joined together, you see, in Worcester. They've got one big lift that was always Marks and Spencer's, and the one next door to it used to be Littlewoods, years and years ago, and that's where the smaller lift is. And it'd been completely refurbished quite a few years ago, but the little lift goes back down. You can get out into the back street, but you can't do that with the big lift. So yeah, so we split and then I had to get in, and they were stood there in front of the food hall going, where is she? Anyway, went around the food hall, bought a few bits and pieces, went upstairs and had a cup of tea. So we literally went from Ask to the food hall to a cup of tea. And it was time for Liz, to catch her bus. Denise's husband joined us because he's a trained people on computer systems, and he was working in Worcester that day. So he came and found us, and Denise put me back in the car, in the car park, and she walked back to join her husband for a pint in the pub. But yeah, and Liz had gone to catch her bus, so it was a very, very nice day. But it was a giggle and it was tiring. Yeah, we can't be trusted to go out together. And then the day after that was our wedding anniversary, and I put a photograph of our wedding day on Instagram. Of course, I bought that wool from when I was in Worcester the other week, which is in the loft now, though different coloured ones, the Rowan cotton wool, for my wedding anniversary, so no more gifts there. I did buy a cake. It was all right. It was okay. A Victoria sponge from Marks and Spencer's. I wanted the fresh cream version, but they didn't have that, so I just put the buttercream version. It was all right. And then last Wednesday was the first Wednesday in the month, so it was tenner, and we hadn't met up since June or May even, and it was Nikki's 60th birthday in the beginning of July, but she was on holiday then, so we had a whole afternoon of being together. Instead of meeting up at about 6 o'clock, we met up at 1. So I went and picked Nikki up and we went to the Cosy Club. I had organised a little gift for her. Her daughter had sent me some photographs of Nikki when she was a bit younger, not as a child unfortunately, But and I've made. She hates having a photograph taken, but it didn't arrive in time for me to show, so she could have a part 2 the next time we see her. We've warned her, but we bought her we gave her gift pebbles. She said, what's this? Stones in a bag. What's this? And they say £10 on them. So we bought her gift pebbles from Iapetus, which is a gallery. They used to have a shop in Worcester, but they've got their main shop, and they've got a website in Malvern. So she said she'd go and have a look. She's probably going to buy earrings, I think. So that was nice. We didn't play any games, but we had a good laugh and we had a good chat and parted company. I think I got home, took Jan home. Jan lives the other side of the river, and if you live in a river town, you know it can be a pain trying to get across the river. But because we were slightly later, we just missed the rush hour, the main part of it, and we sailed over the river. That's fine. But we walked Jan back to the car. Jan was drunk, but nice drunk. I'll just have to lean on your chair. Anyway, that was quite funny. Thank you so much. Oh, actually, she's flying to New York today. I should have checked to see if she'd landed. I bet she has by now. So I dropped Jan off and then came back over the river, and I dropped Nikki off, and then I went home. So I didn't get home till about nearly 7 o'clock. 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then today, I didn't do anything since then. Been at home, doing a bits and pieces, wilting mainly because of the heat. And today, met with Penny and Maggie, ran the Pillar of Salt by me, and we had a good chat for a couple of hours. Maggie was crocheting, I was knitting, and so was Penny. And yeah, and we took the leaflets for Christmas dinner there with us, and we will meet up just before Christmas, and we will have a festive meal at our little pub. And that's caught us up, to be honest. Like I say, the weather's been a bit of a bind in the last week. It's upset Bertie's tummy. Again, just as we got him sorted from the last time, he has got a bit of weakness in his tummy. You know, like some people get a sore throat if they get anything wrong with them. But with Bert, it's definitely his tummy. So we're getting us up, well, waking us up, getting Tom up. But luckily, we've been able to sleep with the back door open. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm not doing a fat lot this week. I'm meeting Mum tomorrow morning at Webb's, the garden centre. Pop into Hobbycraft, see what they've got, see if anything interesting. You never know. And then I don't have any plans, probably till Friday. I'm supposed to be meeting I am meeting my sister in Cheltenham. It's just, we're discussing at the moment which day is best. So, and that's caught me up to date. Hello, this is me from tomorrow. That is, anyway, I made a video yesterday and I completely forgot to talk about Swamp Monster. It was unanimously, apart from 1 or 2 people saying undo it, so it is undone. And it is now back home from Mother's this morning, ready to be knitted up again. But I will reskein it and give it a soak to get some crinkles out first, and I'll be making another cardigan. Thank you for all your votes, and I will be doing a draw next time to see who won the giveaway. Okay. You know how disorganised I am. Thanks for putting up with me. I'll see you soon. Back to the video. Bye. With you. So I shall... Let me know what you've been up to. Have you finished anything since we last spoke? Have you entered your entries into the mail? I've had a couple of emails recently asking me to put things into the mail, which I've done. And yeah, if you've ordered a bag, I will be in touch fairly soon. Thank you for putting up with me. I will show you my started journal next time we meet, so I'll probably see you, I can't add up, so 14 under 12 is yeah, it's like towards the end of the month, 26, yeah. See you then, and in the meantime, you know where I am if you want to get in touch. You take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.